We are live. Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I am your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, June the 18th, the day of the fathers. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Also, the mothers, because without mothers, we wouldn't have any fathers. So, happy Father's Day to the fathers and to the mothers. We appreciate all of you. For the deadbeat dads, happy Independence Day.
Ooh.
Oh!
Little shot across the bow there.
Burn.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about if you want us to. We're going to let this show, as always, be dictated by the callers. I'm joined, as I always am, 60% of the time by Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. Jhead. How about you, fellas?
How about you, brother?
Hey, Jhead, just get here when you can, big dog.
You know what? I'm hanging in there like a hair and a biscuit, brother. I just got back from the indoor water park. I smell like a combination of chlorine and a chicken nugget from my kids' Happy Meal on the way back.
Oh, boy.
So, but the dedication, we are here tonight, fellas, to discuss Auburn recruiting on the uptick. Do we want to talk team stuff? What's everybody want to talk about tonight?
Gee, I wonder. I wonder what the topic might be.
I know what a lot of the folks on the corner want to talk about. And, hey, listen, we hope you call in 701-779-9585. If you want us to talk about it, call in and let's talk about it. Otherwise, we'll sit here and talk about Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group all night long. If you're looking for a home in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, Alabama, look no further for the person to sell it or to find you the one you're looking for. Perfect opportunity, perfect timing right now. Call our Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Fantastic 5-star realtor, folks. I'm telling you. You will never find anybody say anything bad about her. She gets the job done. Answers the phone when she shouldn't. She went on showings today when she shouldn't have. It was Brooks's 13th birthday today. We had a birthday party. It was Father's Day. We had plans. A customer called her, wanted her to show her some houses. She took off, went and showed houses. She's dedicated, man. Maybe sometimes too much. When it interferes with my life, it's too much. Because I needed a sandwich. Daddy needed a sandwich. Hey, give her a call, man. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, folks, to get the show started, we'll kind of recap what's going on right now, the latest with Auburn recruiting, and that's kind of what's going on. Auburn football is kind of on pause right now. Everybody's working out, getting on campus. We'll get to that later. But Auburn recruiting is fired. Auburn had, Joseph Phillips, huge commitment since this past week. I know Bryce Kane is committed. Joe Phillips is committed. Kinsley Faustin. Is it Faustin or Faustin?
Faustin.
Faustin is what I said. I don't know if those are all three this week.
Yes, all three.
Yeah, they were.
From Tuesday moving forward.
Okay.
Because we started getting, I think, I got a text and I hit you guys. I'm like, are you guys hearing this? And you were like, yeah, dude, just hang on. You know what I mean? And the news broke on Tuesday, and then it was Cole the next day on Joseph Phillips' watch updating us like, hey, the tides may have turned a little bit. And then Thursday happens. Joe Phillips is in the boat. And then you walk into a massive recruiting weekend where one Mr. Uno, Perry Thompson, is on campus, in addition to 5 big, nasty offensive linemen, one of which maybe we got a commitment from. Who knows?
You know what you're talking about last Sunday morning? I got a text early in the morning while the recruits were leaving, and didn't think much about it. And then Jhead, you hit us up and you're like, y'all hear we might have 2 commitments? And I was like, oh, that's what he meant. Oh, yeah. Well, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I had no idea that's what it meant. But yes, now it was Kinsley Faustin and Faustin and
Bryce
Kane. Love those 2 pickups.
Yes. Yep.
Love those 2 pickups. And then Joe Phillips was the guy Auburn had to have on defense. And he may not ever play it down at Auburn. He may not play worth the crap at Auburn. But perspective-wise, when it comes to recruiting, this staff had to get this kid.
Yep.
Cool.
How many podcasts did we spend talking about what Joe Phillips would mean to this class? and you lost
Negative
him
or
for a minute.
positive?
You really lost him, guys. I mean,
Sure.
we talked about this on the last podcast, but he was gone. He was a dog all day, and then he comes and he visits Auburn. A couple things happen there. Josh Aldridge stays on him. Hugh Freeze stays on him. Really, I mean, you got to credit most of the staff. I think he was that big of a deal that a lot of the staff jumped in here, made it happen. I just don't want that to get lost in the shuffle because that was such a big deal for what's been going on. Now, on the other side of that coin, this is a guy that's 15 minutes away from where your campus is located. There's a side to this where you go, I mean, you really got to go through all that to keep a guy home.
Yes.
That's just the world of college football now because, that's how hot Georgia and Alabama have been. And it doesn't really matter. I get that argument. I've heard that argument a few times. But at the same time, if it's somebody they wanted and they now cannot have them, you've done something.
Absolutely, it is because we've seen it on the flip side, right? With Rashaan Evans, who's even closer. I mean, he lived in Auburn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we took that one down to the wire, thought we had it, and we didn't. So to be able to land one, regardless of what it takes, to get one that Georgia wants, to get one that Alabama wants, and put that skin on your wall and say, you know what? It's statement time. It's time for us to say no more. Right? It's time for us to say as a staff, no more. If we want a kid, we're going all in. We're going to do what it takes to get it done, to get that commitment, and then you got to maintain it because I don't believe for a second that Kirby and or Nick Saban, if there's a player that they want, that they're going to stop pursuing them until pen to paper comes on the December signing day. So you got to stay vigilant with your recruitment of this player. But Joe Phillips is Marcus Washington to me made over. He will be a big-time outside pass rusher at Auburn.
Local kid as well.
I see a lot of similarities in their game. Now, I do think that they're going to let Joe try to play in the box some. I think they're going to give him the opportunity to do that. But to me, his best skill set is going to be on the outside at the jack position. But those things will sort themselves out once he gets on campus. They'll be able to make a determination on where he fits best. But, Jeffrey, you coined it very well. He's a linebacker. Wherever that takes him, he's a linebacker, whether he's a jack, whether he's a Will or a Mike, who knows? But he's an important piece to this recruiting class, and he was already on campus this weekend helping Auburn recruit, which is big for us.
A lot easier to hang on to them than try to flip them, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And we get, we go into the tiny details of Auburn Live. That's what we do. That's part of it. But I think at some point, Josh Aldridge and the guys that were recruiting Joe Phillips said, you know what? I don't care. Let's get the guy and we'll figure it out later. Just get him here. We'll figure out if he's an inside guy, outside guy. Now, I think he's an outside guy personally. I think that's where his best his skill set is best used. So to me, that leaves a lot of spots there for the inside. And there's plenty of linebackers on the board and good ones too.
You got Wyatt Simmons. You got DJ Barber.
Wyatt Simmons, DJ Barber, Bradley Shaw.
Yes. And don't forget our man from just right down the road in Chilton County. I mean, they're still recruiting.
DeMarcus
Riddick.
Yep.
Kevin's about to call in wanting to know the latest on him.
He is. He is.
Well, let's start. So we've called everybody up to this weekend. Auburn's got, as Jhead said, 5 guys came in for a visit. Casey Poe, DeAndre Carter. Hey, what the hell's going on?
I don't know, man. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. DeAndre Carter, Casey Poe, Jamison Riggs, Khalil House, and
Preston Talmua.
5 stud offensive linemen plus I want to say Robert Woodard, but it's Peyton. What's his name?
Perry
Thompson. All right, so those were our 6 official visitors. We have all updates on each of the ones that wanted to speak. Jamison Riggs didn't want to. Zach, get us to the phones, big dog.
All right, we got a bunch of callers, as you guys can imagine. 4085. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
You're talking to the Wolf from deep in Coleman County.
The Wolf. Good timing, big dog, because I was about to throw out some OTV silver.
Get in there and get that $34 subscription, boys.
Jhead,
I just gotta
the
say
Wolf's
right off
calling
the
with
bat,
his OTV update.
y'all guys are giving something that I hadn't ever seen. There's more real-time information than I have ever seen. That's when I way back to Jeff Whitaker magazines and all that stuff. There ain't nothing. I appreciate y'all.
Forrest.
Now, I
Thanks,
just want
Wolf.
people to understand. Everybody's going to talk about Perry Thompson, and I'll talk about it. I want to talk about the big uglies.
There you go.
I like it.
Get in there, Wolf.
I want to get in there, and I saw that list. And I'm visiting Connor Lew at center, Jameson Riggs and Tacey Poe at guard. Throw me a house in there at tackle. And if you can get in there and get me, I can't say the Hawaiian name, but get him in there.
Preston
Let's see
Talamua.
what we got going.
Well, that'd be at least on paper, what a stud
Oh,
starting line.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it truly would.
Hey,
You
Wolf,
tell me, them people on the corner who's complaining, these soft some bitches talking about house not being worth all these eyeballs and all that stuff. Are you kidding me? We just went through 3 classes where we got 5 offensive linemen.
Hmm.
And you get a guy in Warner Robbins and you're going to complain about it? If I could get my hand across your throat and choke you out.
House
My God.
The Wolf went WWE all of a sudden on us in here.
Woo!
I hear you, Ric Flair. Give me
Wolf.
2 claps.
Wolf, I don't know if you saw the picture of all the linemen standing together. Khalil House is the biggest one of all of them, dude.
Yeah, he's a man, son.
You
He's
saw it,
much
Jeffrey. You
more.
saw him today.
That's Auburn territory, boys.
That's right.
That's Pat Dye territory.
And
it's been a long time since we got back in there.
And here's what got to me, man. The corner, like, we want him, we like him, but he doesn't deserve all the hype that he's getting on Twitter. Are you kidding me? This dude was just on campus a week ago. They got Cole's even told the story. Hugh Freeze walked up to this kid, watched him in camp for 3 or 4 reps, and said, "Offer him." That's how good this kid is, according to Auburn. And they were talking about, he's getting the hype of a 5-star. Dude, to these guys, he is a 5-star. They've seen him, they've seen his film. Now they've seen him up close and personal. They've worked with him one-on-one, basically, in a camp setting. Had eyes on him, watched him, been around him and his family, know what kind of kid he is. And so when he commits in front of everybody Saturday night in front of everybody, bunch of players and all those recruits and all the official visitors, and some of these posters want the coaches to go, "Okay, cool, man. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it." Or do you want to blow it up and let the Perry Thompsons and the Casey Poe see how much that means to them? You just want to say, "Oh, cool, man. 3-star offensive lineman. Appreciate it."
And let's give some people on the corner credit.
We sure as hell didn't get none out of the last 3 classes.
Well, the last one did, but that was a Hail Mary by Jake Thornton and Hugh Freeze. But before that, you're right, Wolf. You didn't.
And it wasn't everybody on the corner. There was a few people who said, you know what? All of these big official visitors, if it was House or if it was anybody else, doesn't matter. You make a huge deal about it in front of them. They watch it. They get into the excitement, right? And they go, that looks fun, right?
Look at the players that are involved here.
I haven't seen this sort of excitement.
Yes,
that
thank you.
Saban got there.
The excitement from
maybe
the
I'm
players.
just crazy.
Last night you had Camden Brown, you had Damari Alston, you had Wesley Steiner, you had Nick Mardner. Everybody's fired up about recruiting, man. Everybody's fired up. And listen, Eli Double-Lot, awesome guy. All right, don't get me wrong. He's a great poster. We appreciate him. Very good. Dude, you missed last night, big dog. You were off last night. I'll call it like I see it.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised by him.
Me too. It's like, this better not be for Khalil House. Are you kidding me?
He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. No Dingleberry this week. But damn, he's pushing it.
Well, y'all have a good night, boys, and keep it up.
Appreciate you, big dog.
That's a good lead off, buddy.
Big Wolf.
4092. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, War Eagle, it's Jhead.
What's up, Jedi?
Hey, guys. So, this weekend you had the Casey Poe takeover, the Perry Thompson video everybody watched. He's got him FaceTiming with DK Metcalf, and Cole wrote some good stuff about DeAndre Carter. I was just going to see what y'all's thoughts are on the weekend, and maybe Cole, what the energy was. It seems like we got a lot of good momentum and some good energy floating around. So I was going to just see what y'all's thoughts on it were.
It's a good question, Cole.
Yeah, I'm still learning a little bit. It was a little bit locked down this weekend, if I'm being honest. I didn't get as much intel as I have gotten in previous weekends. I think that was by design. You had a lot of things going on. Obviously, you have to remember this. We know what Alabama's capable of, and if Auburn thinks that they turned the corner with Perry Thompson this weekend, they don't want anything leaking on that.
No,
it's just in their best interest for it not to, right? Do we all agree on that?
100%.
So, but having said that, what I have heard, especially when, and we think it's House. I'm not going to say it is. It could be somebody else. But when all this went down last night, first of all, the energy was already going pretty good. I was told there was an explosion out there. I was told that there were, the families that were there were buying into that and going, man, this is awesome. This was great. It was such a great, event. I think they were at dinner or something when all this was going on. So having everybody together like that, and they all, I think they kept the offensive linemen together for the most part all weekend, and that was important. Perry Thompson was with them, but probably kind of did his own thing a little bit, if I had to guess. But Casey Poe gave some good insight on the visit. He just thought that being together with all the big guys was really important, something that kind of stood out about the visit as compared to his other visits. And, he's been to Georgia. He's been to Clemson. So, that's about the best I can give you for right now, as I'm still trying to learn more. But energy's at an all-time high, if you ask me.
I would agree, Cole. And
Joe Phillips was there too.
And think about offensive line recruiting in general, or offensive line mentality. It's a group, right?
Yep.
Like, you do everything. It's a cohesive unit. So selling them as a group, to me, was kind of an ingenious thought from the staff. You never want to overload in a weekend for a position group, right? Because you've only got so many hands. But I felt like not bringing any tight ends and having Ben Agamaya there to help out, having Kendall Simmons there, Luke Thornton, Hugh Freeze, and them all selling them collectively as a group was a stroke of genius and a really good move by the staff. I will say my gut feel coming out of this weekend, from what little bit I've been able to pick up, I think we're in a much better spot with Khalil House. I think we're in a better spot with Jamison Riggs, and we're in a better spot with Casey Poe. I honestly believe that than before they came into the weekend. I don't know as much about DeAndre Baker and or Preston Taumua. I think those recruitments have a chance to probably go the distance, and that Auburn's definitely in the mix for both. But I think you could see some more immediate action with the other three as they all plan summer commitments. So we should know pretty soon exactly how this visit weekend went, because I think that was the big thing I got from your story, is July the 12th for Casey Poe. Is that correct, Cole?
Yep.
Riggs has been on record as saying he's going to have a June-July commitment, and we obviously know Khalil House could go at any minute, whether it be to Ole Miss or to Auburn.
And Preston Taumua is going to have a decision August 24th as well.
That's right. He is going to do a summertime decision. Just don't know how that one's going to go just yet.
Also, Jeffrey, you can attest to this. When we talked to DeAndre Carter, I thought, man, maybe it's just his personality, but he was giddy. He was excited. He was laughing after everything he said. He was like, man, I loved it. And I was like,
I know Preston Taumau. That's not the way I'm going with it. His dad had a blast.
Yeah.
Him and Ben Agamaya, they hit it off, dude. Yeah.
And he told us they're both from Samoa. Both of them.
Yeah, the dad and Ben are both from.
Interesting little tidbit here about Samoan football. In high school, he said, I was told they have 6 teams in high school, 6 football schools, and they all play each other twice. And the winners, the 4 best teams go on to the playoffs. That's how that goes. So it's pretty tight knit over there. A lot of people know a lot of people over there.
And then Preston and those guys, they live in Honolulu or Oahu.
Right.
And Ben's brother lives there as well. Oh, it's driving me crazy. All right. Keep us going there, Zach. I'm sorry. Jhead, good stuff, big dog. We appreciate you, man.
1753. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? 1753. You're live.
Go ahead,
a little more volume from you there.
Yeah, a little bass in that voice.
All right.
Hey, first off,
1753, you might have to call back. Your phone was breaking up on that one. We'll go to 2080. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
What's up, big dog?
Big dogs.
Who we got here?
What's going on?
What's up?
Oh, man, this is Tiger Mike from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh,
Tiger what?
Tiger Mike.
Tiger Mike. What's up, Tiger Mike?
Man, it's the biggest Auburn fan in Tuscaloosa County.
Woo!
Somebody had to do it.
You're a lonely man too, probably, brother. Yes.
Listen, man. I catch hell around here.
Hey, Mike, let me say something. Today I was in I was in Publix today. Went to get a birthday cake after we left the hotel. There's Alabama fans in Publix, and I had on my Auburn Live on 3 shirt because I just left the interview. And this guy standing over there looking at the cheeses, and he goes, "Dang, there sure are a lot of Auburn fans around here." And I looked at him. I said, "You think?" I swear, he ain't the brightest bulb in the box. I'm gonna tell you. Anyway, what's on your mind tonight, Tiger Mike?
Okay, I got a few things. Okay, so all of our top guys that we're trying to get, that would be Perry Thompson.
Yep.
Cam Coleman. The big Samoan guys you told me about.
Sure.
Yep. Preston Tamua.
And there was one more, Riddick.
Yep.
DeMarcus
What are
Riddick.
our chances of getting all those guys, flipping them, come on to Auburn?
Let's go with Jeff's hot board. 60% for Cam Coleman.
Oh, I'm 55.
Are you back to 55?
I'm back to 55.
Oh, no. You dropped it.
Hold on. I'm staying at 55.
That's right. Jeffrey never went up. He's waiting patiently to go.
Here's the deal with Cam Coleman, Mike, and Perry Thompson as well. These guys are going to go to, even if nothing is going to happen to those guys' recruitment that's not going to keep it from going the distance. No matter what, it's going to go down to December the 19th or whatever the hell it is this year.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. So there's, I could go, oh man, after this visit, I feel 80% on Cam Coleman. Well, I'm going to build. It's going to be back to. So just stay the course. This is what I did with Joe Phillips. Even Cole, we're both hearing, G, and we were hearing right. It's UGA, and I'm like, dude, I'm staying the same. That's my baseline for Cam Coleman and Joe Phillips, and I don't see that changing with Perry Thompson for me. Perry Thompson, I don't think I can get higher than 45 for Perry Thompson. I'm sorry, I can't. Even though, hey, listen, and Cole put this note up on the board today, Mike. Perry Thompson told us today. I feel like we can talk about this off the record. It
was on the record.
It was on the record. He said Auburn is at the top, and I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like you're committed to Alabama?" But he's like, "Auburn's at the top." I thought, "So you're committed to Alabama, but Auburn's at the top?" Yes.
And for the record, sometimes kids do that. Just they're trying to roll and talk, and it's just best to kind of reset and go, all right, let's just make sure, what you're saying here.
Right.
And he said it again, and they were like, okay. And then he's like, yeah, I mean, it's neck and neck is what I'm saying.
Christian, I mean, it didn't make any sense. Only because, I'm sorry if I'm hitting my mic, he was trying to say, folks, Auburn is at the top for me right now, but I'm still committed to Alabama. That's what he was saying. But I was trying to, and I think all of us were like, listen, dude, that's not gonna read well. It's gonna make, like, people are gonna say, what does that mean?
Yeah. Which,
right.
I mean, he told us what he meant. It wasn't like he was bringing it down to say Auburn was neck and neck with Alabama. That's what he meant.
Yeah.
He's just trying to.
You know what? Following recruiting for the die-hard Auburn fan like I am is really stressful. But I have to keep telling myself that these are 17 and 18-year-olds, and I can't get too tied up in it.
I hear you, Mike.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'd be hard.
Appreciate it, man.
It's better for your health and any other Auburn fan. I'm going to be honest with you. If you just forget about recruiting and then wake up in December and say, who did we sign? Because I promise you,
I'm just going to let y'all follow it, man.
Yeah.
We will.
Just sit back and enjoy the ride, Mike. Don't get too invested emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Like, just understand that.
That's right.
And
That's
this
right.
is going to be. There are going to be ups and downs, highs and lows, all the way to December. And I've got.
You know what? Reuben Foster and Joe. This guy named George Pickens taught me a lesson, man.
Yeah.
Taught a lot of us a lesson.
I didn't learn mine though.
Look, I can't believe I was sitting back in my living room watching TV, cussing at a damn 18-year-old I never met in my day.
I was too.
Brother,
the Rashawn Evans one just about made me do it. I remember that one.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
It had to make 70% upset. That's for sure.
That's right.
Right. We'll holler at you, man. We appreciate it. Right?
Thank you, Tiger Mike. Real quick though, DeMarcus Riddick. I feel like Auburn's got a real shot that we all do. I'm going to defer to Alabama right now.
I'm going. Listen, I cannot pick against Alabama for DeMarcus Riddick. I just can't. I can't do it. I think they've got that one. Perry, to me, and you guys tell me what you think. To me, where he shows up that last weekend in July is going to tell you a lot. Does he go to Tuscaloosa or does he show up for Big Cat? Because to me, that's kind of I think that's going to tell you something. Okay.
I think he came to Auburn's A-Day. No, Alabama had it the next weekend, didn't he?
Alabama had the next weekend. He did not choose one or the other.
Right.
This one will be a choice.
Yeah.
Does he not go anywhere? Does he go to Tuscaloosa? Does he go to Auburn? That, to me, will be a major tea leaf into what he's going to do.
For the record, anybody listening, Alabama has a barbecue that day. Auburn has their Big Cat weekend that day.
Yes.
So they're both big events for both schools. We'll see which way he goes. To me, Mike, I would go Riddick, Alabama, Perry Thompson, Alabama, Cam Coleman, Auburn, and who was the other one? Preston. I would say USC, UCLA, somewhere safe, West Coast. Arizona, actually, Arizona.
Arizona or Oregon, probably, just because of
Pac-12 somewhere.
Well, all right, you think about how many more Native Samoans or Hawaiians play at those schools. It's just like a certain comfort level he may have.
Sure.
But as Cole mentioned, playing in the SEC is also important to him. And it would be great to get someone of his skill set on our offensive line. I promise you that, because he's nasty, man. I mean,
now that
street.
That Jhead that playing in the SEC is something I heard from a totally different source, not from the horse's mouth today. Didn't even pose him on that. We were just asking what his next visit was, and he said, trying to get Alabama in there. They don't have a date yet, but working on that. SEC, man, that's the best competition right there.
Man,
I was like,
trunks
okay.
for legs too. Man, he's impressive.
Yeah, man, he is.
Good stuff, Mike.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man.
5960. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
This old kid country, man. How y'all guys doing?
Hey, he is.
Oh, he snuck it up on us.
Oh, Edward from
I come to the back
Selma.
door every now and then.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, folks.
Happy Father's Day to my kid country
Yes,
best
sir.
buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is up,
These
brother?
guys on the corner, man. They get weird on the corner sometimes.
That's well put.
Oh,
That needs to be our slogan. We sometimes get
It's
weird.
weird, man. Hey, y'all guys, man, y'all just sit back. Hugh doing the groundwork now, man. Perry Thompson wasn't finna commit to Auburn last night. He ain't even decommitted from Alabama. Calm down.
Preach, brother.
Your best recruitment for Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman is Shane Hooks, Jaya Shorter, and Camden Brown.
Good point.
Hugh has laid the groundwork. Now let's go back to Jhead. Now it's all about proof of concept, baby. It's all
Yes, get it in there, Edward. And for those of you playing the Jhead drinking
Hey,
game, that's a sip. Go ahead.
That's a sip.
It's all about proof of concept now. The groundwork has been laid. The best thing for Auburn football now, you got Big Cat coming. But now it's time to see it live on the field in Auburn. That's going to be the best recruitment for Auburn football this year.
Stand
You
up,
show the
son.
guys what I can do with talent.
Hey, Luke,
Great point.
Edward, call of the freaking month, dude. Like, you can have visits and relationships all you want. You can have the NIL comparable, but man, the best thing Auburn can do for Perry Thompson, for Cam Coleman, is to go out and light it up.
Yes.
Light it up. Throw the football around. And you get upset about a lineman. We
Can you
building
believe
for the
that?
future, man. I'm excited about everybody that want to come to Auburn.
Good for you.
Because guess what?
Who are the coaches?
To dominate, like I want to dominate, I need an offensive line in front of my quarterback. I done watched the last 2-3 years of an offensive line that didn't cut the mustard. Jay Lee just told y'all, just a guy that Hugh watched himself and say, get that guy off of.
Yeah.
It ain't all about the stars all the time, guys.
Right.
It's about talent evaluation. And I'm through with my rant, man. They just get on my nerves with that foolishness, man.
I think that's fantastic.
That is the best way to address what went on the corner, I think.
No, I agree. And look, in Auburn's history, we have a history of guys that have come to camp, performed well at camp, and gone on to be all SEC performers themselves.
Not classfuls of these guys, but like 2 guys per class, right?
Look, we got one on our coaching staff right now, and Zach Etheridge, who had to beat a camp offer. And what did he do? He was the team leader for a defense that won a national championship, right?
Yep.
Okay. Chad Slade, camp guy. 6 years in the
Coach came to Auburn and ran a 4.340, and that's how he got it off of.
Sammy Coates, yes, sir.
Hey, let's don't forget about Bryce Kane coming out and winning his spot.
Yeah.
Bryce Kane.
Talent evaluation.
Hey, Camden Brown. Of course, that was he's a camp guy, right?
Yes.
Good talking to y'all guys, man. I'm gonna let them finish the call in with that foolishness, man. And
Hey, Edward, we love you, big dog. We appreciate you, man.
All right,
Great
man.
point.
Love y'all too, man.
Zach,
Great
before you go to
points.
the next one. And I'm also on our starting lineups we were talking about a couple weeks ago. I'm putting Camden Brown back in my starting lineup after.
Oh, welcome to 2022, big dog.
Yeah. Anyway, go to your next one, Zach.
Oh man. Let's see. 1753. You're live. Who we talking to?
Oh, that's our buddy who was whispering earlier.
Hey, this is the GOAT, Frederick 90.
Who was it?
Frederick 90.
The GOAT, Frederick
Big
90.
dog.
What's up?
The GOAT, Frederick 90.
Self-proclaimed GOAT. I love it.
Yeah, he called in to say he stuffed Nick Saban in the locker somewhere. You know he did.
Hey, Jhead, I just want to know if you starting to become a believer yet.
Are you a believer, Jhead?
I'm getting there. I'll tell you what, he shows up at Big Cat Weekend. Frederick 90, me and you going out on a booze cruise together to celebrate, brother. I promise you that.
Frederick,
Sounds
I
good.
won't be.
Sounds good.
I won't ever be.
Have y'all heard anything about Jamonte Waller visit to Florida?
Saw it.
Heard it went well.
Heard it went very well.
Where do y'all stand on that? Like his recruitment and who was he decide?
I just never felt like he was going to end up at Auburn, and I still don't.
I honestly don't know, Frederick, because I've heard differing things there. I think we're still squarely in it. I will tell you that I do not believe he's going to end up at Penn State. I just don't believe a kid out of the state of Mississippi is going to land at Penn State, and I know they're getting the large majority of the hype right now. I can't see that one. So now you're down to probably Auburn, Florida, Ole Miss, and Georgia, because I do think Ole Miss is going to maintain some relevancy there. It's hard for me to rule out the in-state school for a Mississippi kid, but I wouldn't put him as the front runner. I think it may come down to Auburn and Florida.
I think you're right. I think Jamonte is pretty impressionable.
I think Florida.
I didn't hear.
It was Penn State, but now since he had that Florida visit, I give Florida the edge just a little.
Yeah. Austin Armstrong's been on him hard. Go ahead, Cole.
No, I'm just saying. I think he's an impressionable guy. All of his offers came real quick. Out of nowhere, he was an unrated guy. I talked to him back when he was an unranked guy, and he was, he thought it was coming. And he told me even then, I'm going to take all of my visits. I'm not going to miss anybody. And I think he's done that. I think Auburn's in it. I just don't know if I would not put a prediction in for him. I don't feel confident like that.
Gotcha. What do y'all think on Casey Poe?
I like us better after this weekend.
You know what's crazy about Casey is we talk about guys being hard to read, and it's usually because they don't say much.
He's hard to read.
Casey's hard to read because he says a lot about everything. He says a lot about each school. He has a lot of love for each of the schools in his top 7 or whatever he has right now. I really don't know which way he's leaning. I can't tell. Loves Auburn, there's no doubt.
And Jamison Riggs.
I feel pretty good about Jameson Riggs.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I feel better about him.
So, yeah. What did you say, Jerry?
I feel better about Jamison Riggs. And I've been talking to, hey, Georgia Tech loves the guy. Clemson loves the guy, right? It's going to 3-team battle. And it would be hard pressed for me to believe Georgia Tech could beat Auburn or Clemson for recruit unless he wanted to stay close to home, unless he wanted to be engineer and he wanted, academics were that important to him. I just don't think it is. I think he wants to play football and get a degree. That's why I tend to think it's Auburn or Clemson for him. Jhead, you both of y'all follow this guy's recruitment. Am I off here?
No, other than I think his dad played at Georgia Tech, if I remember correctly.
I knew there was a.
He's a legacy recruit there, and I think that is important to a degree.
Well, Georgia Tech was the guy who was talking to me today. They want to know how it went.
Yeah, I think it's Auburn or Georgia Tech. I honestly believe.
Oh shit! Really?
I honestly believe Clemson's running third from my info.
I think so too.
I don't know enough yet to say if Auburn knocked it home on the OV, but I felt like it was trending that way leading into it, and I'll be interested to see where we stand once the dust settles. But I do think Auburn is very squarely in this and maybe even the slight leader.
I agree.
Oh, so you got a legacy recruit at Georgia Tech, Auburn. Ooh, that's tough. And the guy who declined to comment after his visit today.
And he's done that to me a couple times, and just for the record, he's nice about it. He just doesn't want to do the interview, and you can't make him interview. That's they're not required to interview, and they don't have to if they don't want to. So he didn't talk, and it's hard to tell what he's thinking, where he's leaning. But I'm with Jhead. I do watch Georgia Tech here because of the legacy deal, and they killed it on his official visit from everything that I've understood. I think Auburn's even aware of that, and they go, Georgia Tech, even though they don't really scare us, they do in this one.
Yeah.
You got to watch out here. You got to make sure that we seal the deal. And I think they did as good as they could have from everything I've been told.
And I think Walker White plays is actually, of all targets, Casey Poe and Jamison Riggs are the two I think he carries the most weight with. I honestly believe that. And I do think he helps us in that recruitment as far as having somebody there that, they kind of have a very similar thought process, both faith-based kids. I think that actually helps Auburn here to a degree.
Sounds good. Well, last thing I want to say is Jhead and Cole, y'all gonna be able to believe it soon.
No.
Okay.
Have you given up on me because I'm just not coming, Frederick? I promise. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm a stubborn mule.
I'll get to that, Jhead.
Brother, I want to believe.
Let me say this to you, Fred, before you go, man. I fully believe that Auburn very well could have the momentum right now. But I also thought that Georgia had the momentum with Joe Phillips. This is the same kind of deal as Joe Phillips, in my opinion here. It's going to sway a little bit. Where does that arrow end up pointing? I don't have an answer for that right now. I think it's leaning a little bit toward Auburn, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. And look, you probably know more than me on this one.
I would know next month.
That's what I was going to say. What happens that last weekend in July is going to tell the tape. I honestly believe that. Where does he show up? That's
just remember this, man. Just remember this, Frederick. Just because kids say something does not mean they're going to hold to it. I mean, Tony Mitchell was signing with Auburn.
Yeah.
Perry Thompson's been telling people he's flipping to Auburn. I understand that. I'm just Mizzou. I've heard that before. I believe it when I see it. I believe Alabama lets that happen when it happens.
Reuben Foster did it too.
Not going to Big Cat or the Alabama barbecue.
I'm with Jhead on that. That'll be telling. I don't know if it'll be, bottom line. Sure, it'll certainly be telling. Yeah. If I was Alabama fan or Alabama coaches and the kid went to Auburn's Big Cat and didn't come to here, I'd be a little bit more than concerned.
Yeah,
probably a little pissed.
And I think the ship has sailed with Sterling Dixon with the addition of Phillips.
I forgot about Sterling.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one right now. I'm with you there, Fred.
No shoes is right though.
Yeah, I think it's been said already.
Hey, what was Sterling? What were y'all saying about Sterling? I was reading no free shoes.
He's just saying that probably the ship has sailed with Sterling, and I don't know for sure, but I'm kind of agreeing with him there.
Is it Alabama LSU now, or is it Alabama?
Seems to be Alabama
LSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Auburn. I mean, he was just a weird guy for Auburn, right? Not personally, but athletically. Like, you edge or you linebacker. I don't know. Safety.
I've never been a fan.
The thing with Sterling, he's chasing the money.
Nah, I don't blame him.
I have never been a fan of trying to convert a line of scrimmage player into a box linebacker. I just, yes, he's athletic enough to do it. And look, I firmly believe, what Kevin Steele wants is that you just don't have, typical linebackers anymore. You got to make them, you got to develop them, you got to find some guys that have certain skill sets. But taking a guy that's used to playing with his hand in the dirt, and then all of a sudden, you're going to back him up 6 yards off the ball, and he's going to play downhill. I don't like that.
They obviously felt that Joe Phillips was more of a slam dunk, right?
Yes, 100%. And I think Wyatt Simmons may have taken, that spot.
Yeah,
I think athletically they're very similar.
All right. Hey, Brendan, you're always welcome here. Always welcome here, big dog. We appreciate you on the board. Appreciate you on the corner. Fantastic poster. Great caller. Frederick, we appreciate you, buddy.
5810. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Fellas, Anthony from Montgomery.
Anthony.
How y'all doing tonight?
How about you, big dog?
So
last night, y'all know I called and I had my questions ready.
Oh, good.
But last night I was laying down, feeling good, drinking good. I don't even post on the court. But after I got through reading all that mess, I made a post that said, "Y'all make me sick."
Oh, was that you?
Was that you, brother? Good.
Yeah.
I think I like that post.
Yeah, we do.
Man, first of all, if a kid, I don't care if he's, let's say this, let's start here. That star shit don't matter when you get to college. Let's talk about Brian Coward or Calvin
Ashley.
That was 5 stars. Or let's talk about a Daniel Thomas that got the call the day of National Signing Day and say, "Hey, you a take." They went on to be a 2-year starter and now playing in the NFL. So let's really talk about what does it matter star you are. You got to go out there and put it on the field. They mad because a kid is because everybody is excited. First of all, this is going to be his future teammate. And they're excited. It's a big deal. Brian Harsin didn't do shit, but the most work he did was run stadium at Auburn. That's all he did. We got a coach that's going all out. And we got the nerve to be picky. We haven't won 8 games in 3 years. You think it takes time. But at the end of the day, man, just let these folks do their job. If the guy love Auburn and he want to be at Auburn, then I love him. Don't stop saying you're an Auburn fan and complain about everything. So, for the corners, STUF, sit back, chill, and let these guys do what they do. That's my rant.
Good. Anthony, fantastic. You and Kid Country just laying them out tonight, man.
Yeah, have a good night. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Anthony.
Happy
We
Father's
appreciate
Day.
you, big dog. Anthony has always got some good stuff.
He does.
4003. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How about you, gentlemen? This is Carter Malton from Brookhaven. And,
Oh, Carter.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well after hearing how those visits went this weekend. So I just wanted to call in and see how. Hold on one second.
That Bama Bride.
I just wanted to call in and see how DeAndre Carter's visit went and what y'all think about him, and if we think that there's any chance that we land this guy, because I really am impressed. I watched some of his tape, and this dude was just mowing folks down left and right.
The modern day guy from California.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Comes down to Auburn. Cole, he wasn't the one who said it was Preston who said Arizona, right?
Yes.
That Auburn was up there. Okay. So this guy had been to UCLA. Dude, this guy had been everywhere. I'm talking about California schools, USC, UCLA. He'd been up in the Big Ten, Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio State. Then he'd been down to Georgia, Florida, Auburn, LSU. I mean, he'd been everywhere all over the country.
Yep.
And this kid, this is the guy, Carter, who Cole was like, this guy was giddy. And
he was.
If you looked at the story that Cole used, or the picture that Cole used in his story, Cuz was his smile was so big you couldn't see his eyeballs.
He was cheesing, but look, he was excited. He was excited, and I'll tell you what, Carter. Without saying too much, what I understand from a lot of what happened last night, and we got everybody fired up, is that they felt some momentum with guys like DeAndre Carter, Preston Talmua, and said, I wonder if we can get these guys in the boat this weekend. Maybe didn't think that way coming in, going, hey, let's make the best impression we can. But the feel after a couple days there was, maybe we got a shot to go ahead and get these guys. So, they did what they tried. They tried to do make a big deal out of it, is what I'm trying to say. I put it this way. I would not be surprised if 1 or 2 or maybe more of these official visitors from this weekend end up in the class. DeAndre Carter, to me, is the guy that's got a few schools that he's still got to narrow down a little bit.
Yep.
I think he was blown away, and I think his parents were blown away by Auburn.
Hell yes. I love the sound of that, because I just think that he could make he could make such a difference on our O-line, because y'all always say that we will benefit in the long run extensively from high school guys compared to transfer.
Oh, for sure.
And our bank account will too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Hell
you're
yeah.
right.
Hey, you think about Carter, you get 2 of those 5, just 2.
Whew. I think that would move mountains. I really do.
Literally.
I will tell you, how invaluable offensive tackles are in the transfer portal. There were maybe 3 or 4 above average offensive tackles in the transfer portal this past year. Auburn just happened to get 2.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, there were maybe 2 or 3 elite ones, and Dylan Wade was one of them.
Correct. You know what I mean? Like, we had to get absolutely fortunate to land him. You would be much better served to develop those in your own program.
And more damn Eagle. Let's close out strong.
Appreciate it, Carter. Tell that Bama bride we said hello.
There you go.
Yes, Jhead. And listen, and like Carter said, it's a lot cheaper, dude. Those offensive tackles, these elite offensive tackles in the transfer portal, they're very expensive.
Very. And then it's supply and demand, right? Because you're not always going to have the same portal output.
Right.
You know, in any given year, there are going to be offensive tackles in high school that you can recruit. Maybe there's some you got to build a little bit. Maybe they're more of a sure thing, but they're always there.
I'm not saying high school recruits are cheap either. High school offensive tackles are cheap. I just think they might be cheaper than a guy ready to play transfer.
Yes.
Zach, how are we looking on the phone lines?
Last 4 callers.
Okay.
4295. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Warden Eagle from.
Oh, Dan!
That's a good poster.
He's a fantastic poster.
So I got a hypothetical for you. I know you guys love them.
We love the hypotheticals. You can't go wrong on the hypotheticals.
Get a little closer to your phone there, Wardan.
All right. How's that? Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Better. 3-star.
Here we go. If you get this thing going, I want 3 players from the offense and the defensive class of this year that are going to come back and visit Auburn and go to practice. He'll be telling future recruits, look what I did with these 3 players on either side of the ball, assuming he gets things going and everything goes well. Go.
3? Okay, let me see if I understand this correctly. You're basically saying who's the DK Metcalf in 10 years? Who's the Laramie Tunsil in 10 years?
Okay.
Is that kind of what you're saying, Dan?
Going to be selling from this class. 3 on the offense and 3 on the defense.
I'd start with Cam Coleman.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy button answer. Let's go
from this class, or does it matter? I think it was this class.
He said this class.
I'll give you another one. One of the 2 between Preston Talmua or DeAndre Carter. The reason, because they would have a lot to tell you coming from so far away to go to Auburn, and why Hugh Freeze was able to pull them. That would be my point there.
And then I will go with.
I mean, we're only.
Yep. I'm going to go with Bryce Kane out of Mobile, Alabama, because that's a place you have to recruit year over year.
Yeah.
And if he hits the way I think he's capable of hitting in the slot, and I think that's an easy sell to go back to Mobile and say, look, we took another underrated guy. What can I do with you, Mr. 4 and 5-star? What can I do with you? If I did this for him, what can I do for you? Especially in an offense that features wide receiver play the way this one does. So that's going to be my play on offense. On defense, I think it's no question it's Joe Phillips right now today.
I'll go with Walker White.
That's definitely one.
Yeah.
I was trying to think outside of the box and not go with a commitment, which is why I went with Cam Coleman. And then
Jalen Crawford. Maybe if they could pull that one.
We were trying to fill out 3 from the offense first, but Jalen Crawford from the defense for sure.
I forgot there was 3 on each side of the ball.
On defense too, I'm thinking Kamarion Franklin would be a guy being from Mississippi. Just like Derek Hall, guys. I mean, even without Hugh Freeze, Derek Hall's got a great story with Auburn, right?
Um,
I'm just looking for guys who are going to be successful.
Yeah.
I'll give you one. And I think we're more in this than a lot of people think. Zaquan Patterson from South Beach.
Yeah. That's good.
That's one. Because I'm looking at areas you're going to go back and recruit end over end.
Right.
And I think we're in that recruitment. I honestly do. I mean, I think we're top 3 in that recruitment.
I always get him and the other kid mixed up.
And Zion
Ferguson. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Patterson's the one that Auburn has a better shot with, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I couldn't remember, man.
I think Ferguson's squarely committed to LSU at this point.
Right.
I think Zaquan Patterson we're in on. And if you land that kid with the kind of athlete that he is, and you put him at the boundary safety spot and just let him do work, man. You can do so many different things with him in match coverage. Whether you're utilizing him in the box on different fire zone blitzes, or whether you're letting him play, a 2-high set or whatever you're going to do. I just think he's a really special type of athlete, and he's a guy that you can go back in South Beach and sell. And Auburn's had success with South Florida kids. I think that would be one that you could easily go back and sell.
Here we go. I'm going with Khalil House. He's going to come back in 10 years and talk about Hugh Freeze having faith in him and his evaluation of him and Jake Thornton, and they had confidence in him, believed in him. And the dude ended up a 2-year all-conference player in the second round selection in the NFL draft. And he's coming back from his second Pro Bowl. He's coming back for Big Cat, 2034.
Holler at me. Hey, look, and Houston County, middle of the state of Georgia. That's a place.
Houston.
Houston.
It is Houston.
If you ever need anything,
I was corrected. I was corrected.
I'm from Coffee County. I'm used to Houston County, where Dothan is. But
you remember 3-step drop from the bunker?
100%.
I think he used to coach at Houston. He's the one who told me how to pronounce it.
Got it. All right. So Houston County, but you're talking just south of Macon?
Yeah.
Not
Bobo neighborhood.
Yes. Auburn has got to recruit there year over year. And we've gotten some really great players out of Warner Robins. I think Jeffrey Whitaker was from there.
Sure.
If I remember correctly. And
he used to have recruiting magazines back in the 90s, Jeffrey Whitaker. that was a reference to the Wolf earlier.
Oh,
yeah. I started with those Jeffrey Whitaker magazines. We love you, Wolf, but you didn't mess that one up. But
Brother Jeffrey said the correct name, too. It's sitting in there all clean.
Yeah, it was Forrest. Old Forrest. So there you go, Dan. Best we could do, man. It's a good question.
8861. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Kevin from
There he is.
All right,
How
Kevin.
about you, Kevin?
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, buddy. Who you want to know about tonight?
DeMarcus Vegas, Reddick, and Perry Thompson.
Oh.
Okay.
Perfect night to be asking about those, Kevin. Perfect night.
Absolutely.
Kevin, we are going to give you a DeMarcus Riddick update. We're going to give you a Perry Thompson update. And Cole will start with Perry Thompson.
Okay. See if we can touch on something we haven't touched on yet with Perry. Basically, we were talking with Frederick, who is a Perry Thompson enthusiast.
Yes.
And I am agreeing with Frederick that Auburn seems to have the momentum right now. I really, truly feel that way.
And by momentum, you mean if signing day's tomorrow, you'd have real trouble trying to figure out where it's going. I mean, legitimate Auburn.
I wouldn't predict it, but I would, you say gun to your head. I would have to go with Auburn right now. Okay. Something tells me Auburn's got just some momentum. And look, he had his official visit to Alabama already.
Yes.
That's over and done with. He makes it to his Auburn official.
Yes.
And not only makes it there, a lot of guys like that, they don't want to talk after that. They don't want to, whatever. He was ready to talk. He wanted it kind of out there for whatever reason. And I don't live and die by what the guys say at all. I've learned that. But from what I'm hearing, and like I said, on the board, Frederick 90 is not my source here. There's good things happening with Auburn and Perry Thompson. Now, I think this one changes like the wind, man. It's just going to change a lot. And we got a little ways to go until he says he's going to wrap it up. So today I like Auburn. Tomorrow I might like Alabama.
Yeah.
That is my answer on Perry right now, Kevin.
Let the visit high wear off, and we'll see where we're at when the dust settles. You know what I mean?
You got to let that visit high wear off.
You know, something we're overlooking is that Perry Thompson just finished a 4-day visit to Auburn.
Yes,
yeah, he did. He did.
He arrived Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it was it Wednesday he got here?
Yeah,
on summer camp.
Right.
And don't forget all of these visits that have happened up to this point too. And he's snuck in there a couple times. I think it's safe to say that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we caught him one time there sneaking in, and other time he just posted from a Snapchat, "Hey, look where I am. I'm in Auburn. You didn't know, whatever." There's stuff like that that's been going on this whole time too. So Auburn's legitimate here. Auburn fans have been burned by this over and over, and you should be aware of that. You should watch out for that kind of thing. But at the same time, let's see how it plays out, man. New staff.
And Kevin, so I think Jhead feels a little less optimistic about Jamarcus Riddick. I know I do. Jhead, your take on Jamarcus Riddick at this point?
Right now, I think Demarcus Riddick is a very impressionable young man. There's no question to me that Auburn absolutely made a dent in his recruitment, and not just a dent. I'm talking about a major dent when he came in for his OV. I think they absolutely got his attention. My issue is he's now OVing to Alabama. I feel like they're going to steal momentum back in that situation. And Auburn has already kind of lost a chance, minus what happens in the season, to kind of seize momentum again. I ultimately believe Saban has prioritized him enough. And I've seen this move before. I feel like Demarcus Riddick ends up at Alabama. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing for Auburn, because we have a very good linebacker board with a lot of really great targets on it. Demarcus Riddick being one of those, and maybe even the best one. That said, I don't see it right now. Even all the positive things I heard about the visit, and there were positives. There were 100% positives and a reason to feel optimism. I just think the long play here favors Alabama.
I agree. Kevin, good stuff, buddy. We always appreciate your call, keeping us on our toes about Demarcus Riddick and Perry Thompson.
Just a small update, guys, before we get to the next one. Demarcus Riddick has wrapped up his official visit with Alabama, and our Alabama site has an article up recapping the visit with his mother. And it's interesting. I would give it a read.
Cool. Good to know. On 3 right there.
Yes, sir.
Little Andrew Bone attention.
Joseph Hastings. Joseph Hastings wrote this one.
Okay.
0525. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How about you, fellas? This is Auburn Dad for life.
Auburn Dad.
Alabama.
Happy Father's Day, Auburn Dad.
But I just wanted to say all this stuff with Perry Thompson, Riddick, the PTSD is too real for me to believe. So I'm there with Jeffrey.
Yeah,
I hear you, big dog.
I also wanted to say very big happy Father's Day to everyone on the boards, on here. Y'all are wonderful people. I love watching you. Even my son in the back yelling War Eagle there.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Auburn Dad.
The thing that gets me is, can y'all not say now that Hugh is stuffing bowl cut in the locker?
Oh, hey, I already said I put that on the board.
I'm so glad he's stuffed in the locker. I haven't liked him since he came down to Greenville trying to get Marlin, and I kept telling him, dude, you ain't getting Marlin. I knew him. I coached him. You ain't getting him. Yeah, Hugh's doing yeoman's work getting them people. And I love him for it and keep doing it. I hope he fights for all these Perry Thompsons and Riddicks, because we have to fight for them.
That's right.
But, yeah, this class is going to be made up of 3 stars that turn into daggum diamonds in the rough. That's just the way it is. Pat Dye did it. Gus, to some extent, did it. So, I mean, it works.
Tubbs.
But But yeah, him stuffing in the locker and getting all that. But my thing is like I haven't heard much about Barber and some of these other ones that have like kind of fallen off since this official visit weekend went kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Is there any news on those? And
No.
I'll hang up and listen. Thank y'all, fellas.
Hey, appreciate you, Auburn Dad. He makes a good point, man. There's been so much attention on. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
there's been official visits here every day for the past 10 days.
Yeah,
I mean, you went last weekend, then you had Cam Coleman and those guys here Monday through Wednesday. Then Cam Coleman left on Thursday. Then you got Perry Thompson showing up on Thursday and staying until Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here we are after 10 straight days of official visits. Finally, Cole, if I'm not mistaken, what I learned this morning, today was the last day of official of visitors until probably Big Cat.
That's correct. Yes.
So a lot of this attention can now be turned on who's making decisions soon. What's going on with DJ Barber? What's going on with some of these Jalen Crawford? He's going to be wrapping up business because July the 1st is the dead period. July till September 1st or August 31st. July, all of July and all of August are dead except for the last. Is it week or weekend?
It's like the last 5 or so days. I
I've
don't
got it right here.
Like July 24th might be.
There we go. It's a week. It's a week of July. It's the last week of July. Okay. So it's the 25th through the 31st of July. So that's when Big Cat's going to be. So apart from that, though, it's all dead, July and August. So that 1 week will be Big Cat, will be Alabama's barbecue. So lots going to be going on. Now the decisions is what we're going to I went through all that to tell you that now our focus is going to be on who's making the decision soon and what the hell is going to happen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because now we're fixing to be getting to the bottom of these things.
Yep.
This
was OV season. Business season now begins towards the back end of June and July.
I'd call it commitment season. I think there's commitments coming, and I think there's multiple coming for Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I think I'm not going to give you a number, but at least more than 2 or 3. Right.
Well, somebody said, is Auburn going to get to 12 before kickoff last week? I think somebody asked this. Well, now they've got 8, and we think at least 12. At least 4 before September 5th.
In the 12 to 15 range is my guess.
I'm going to humble brag because I'm the one that said it's going to be 12, and everybody else said 10.
You did it again.
I'm just going to put that out there right now because I
son of a gun, Jhead. You did it again.
I know, right? And it'll probably be more than 12. Hell, we're probably looking at 14.
That's what I'm saying. I think it might be a little bit higher than 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm counting 4 right now. Like if I'm doing the math, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm counting Malik.
Mm-hmm.
Counting Khalil House. I'm counting Wyatt Simmons. I'm counting D'Angelo Barber. I'm counting Jalen Crawford. And I'm on verge of saying, and I got an active prediction on him, but I'm on verge of saying Jamison Riggs.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna have to do some investigating on him.
I'll tell you this, make sure I've been kind of rolling out the RPM rundowns. I have 7 RPM picks in, and I like to give an update on those because I feel like it helped me out a little bit when it came to Joe Phillips because I absolutely was going to change my prediction to Georgia. I just didn't because somebody told me not to. I've trusted that source. So I have a source that tells me not to change it for Riddick yet. I don't know how I feel about that. Sure. I want to change it.
Well, here's the deal, man. It's going to be so many highs and lows. As we saw with Joe Phillips, nothing matters because we were right, we were wrong, we were right, we were wrong with Joe Phillips. It depended on what day it was.
Right, and to the other people that did change their pick, they were right at the time when they changed it, they were right.
Mm-hmm.
Any other recruiting service or anybody that covers Auburn or anybody that covered Georgia, they were right when they had it.
And to be fair, I changed it in my head.
Well,
it was changed right here. I just didn't change it on paper.
Well, I changed it 2 weeks in my head before you did, brother. Don't worry about it.
Well, let me toot my own horn. I told you I wasn't changing it.
No, man, you said it.
I'm riding this one out, big dog. I'm going to the grave with this one.
I'm
going to do the same thing with Cam Coleman. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Full Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino over there.
Yeah, I'm not changing it. He's going to commit to Georgia. I don't care. I'm going down, baby. I'm going down.
Let me let me throw
we
something
got
in there.
another caller, man. I'm sorry. We got one more caller.
Can I throw something in there real quick,
Do it.
Zach? I think Auburn could have. I mean, look, if you took everybody that wanted to be at Auburn, you could have 1,000 people in the class right now.
Sure.
But as far as guys that Auburn wants in their class, that's a very short list. Okay, it is. It's an exclusive list, and Bryce Kane and Khalil House went out there and earned it, son.
Yeah.
And for me, that is a big deal. That's why I would be excited if it were Khalil House they got all excited about.
Yes.
I'd be fired up. I watched him. For one, I got to watch him in person. He won every rep he was in. His feet looked a lot better. He's toned it down a little bit. The dude can play. All right. Hugh Freeze saw it. He had this whistle in his mouth. He's watching him. Offer him. Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is with a staff that sees things exclusively. I mean, I watch Malcolm Simmons, guys. Malcolm Simmons, who is a 4-star recruit by some sites, go out there and one-hand snags all over the place, and they took Bryce Kane because they felt good about him. That tells me something. I'm going to roll with that.
Awesome. Post up, big dog.
What's that?
8008. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
From Auburn. Name's MA1 Auburn.
MA1 Auburn.
I don't post a whole lot, but I got 2 questions for you.
All right.
Sure.
One, if they don't get Simmons and they don't get the other Perry, what's the chances we get Craver? Because I love Mario Craver. I think his stuff, he can play. My second question is, there's a kid from Sylacauga. I think his last name is Harris. He's their running back. I saw him play all last year, and the kid is absolute stud. But I think what's going to hurt him is because he played for B.B. Comer, that he comes from a 2A. I think that might hurt him a little bit. But he is big and he is powerful. So if they don't get the other 2 running backs, what's your chances that Auburn gets him? Because I know that he went and saw Cadillac when he was at when they were at the finals of the playoffs last year. And that's all.
Kamori Harris.
Kamori. Yep, Kamori. Yeah, you know what? I haven't heard much about him, to be honest. That's not to say he couldn't be a down-the-line guy, because we've all talked about this. We think Auburn wants another running back.
Yeah.
And there are several names that we have, looked through and said this could be a possibility. Kamori Harris is sort of in there, and I kind of forgot about him, if we're being honest. Hadn't heard much about him lately. Didn't see him at camp.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if any recruits are listening, you better camp, guys. You better camp. Getting coaches' eyes on you, there is nothing better than that. If you have the opportunity, maybe you can't make it. I understand that. That happens. You got a scheduling conflict. But, man, just ask Khalil House and Bryce Kane how that worked out. If you're good enough and you get coaches' eyes on you, it'll work out for you. But as far as Kamori Harris goes, I've seen him. He's a good player, maybe a down-the-line guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't rule him out completely. We'll have to see how it goes. Still a full season of senior football to go.
Exactly right. Yeah. He goes off in senior season. Who knows? Who was the other one? Oh, Mario Craver. So I think it will depend on if they take a 4th.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it, because he's not an outside guy. Do you want 2 slots in this class? I just don't know. You know what I mean? If they decide they want 4 in this class, I feel much better about Mario Craver making it.
Yeah, right. I think he's number 4.
Yeah.
There's
or Malcolm Simmons.
Yeah. I think there's good news and bad news for Mario Craver as it pertains to Auburn. The bad news would be we are now in the era of the transfer portal, where you do not have to fill up in your class like you used to have to do. Correct. You can leave a spot here and there and go, we'll cherry pick out of the portal. There may be somebody that we have high value on. The good news is Auburn likes him a lot. and they have been very clear about that with him. I know that for a fact. They think he is a speedster. They think he's an excellent route runner. He's just a little bit small. That might be the only knock. I've said this a few times now. I don't think you count out Mario Craver right now. Now, if today were signing day, I don't think Auburn takes him.
No.
But down the line, once again, however the numbers play out here, I think there could be a spot for him.
And I think that falls into what Jeffrey and I think. I mean, I think if it were today, like if signing day were tomorrow, I'd project Mario Craver to Georgia Tech. That's honestly where I would put him at. Yeah. But
Florida back off of him.
I don't know that they backed off more than there's some hesitation there for whatever the reason. There's some hesitation there with Florida, and I don't know enough. We would need Florida man Keith Niebuhr to come and make a special appearance to fill us in on what Florida's thinking there. But I know that Georgia Tech is very high on him. They had him for an official visit not too long ago, him and DJ Barber both. And I think that went well, and I would probably project him there. But what does Auburn do with its wide receiver core? Is there more attrition coming that we don't know about? Do they lose a couple slot guys and now we've got room for Mario. We love him. Now we've got a spot for him. How does that shake itself out? I'm with you, Cole. I think that's just if Mario will be patient, there quite possibly could be a good spot there for him.
Sure.
I agree.
Sure.
Good stuff there, MA1. We've got about 10 minutes. Y'all want to hit some questions? Zach, do we have any questions we want to hit? A little lightning around to finish it off. Auburn Dad's still hanging around. What did it say? Oh, here we go. So who is the one Hugh kind of let us know he is in the bag? That was earlier in the week, and I believe that was Bryce Kane.
Yes.
Colby Morris wants to know if Auburn pulls Perry Thompson, what would that do for expectations, playoff potential? I don't think it would do anything like instantly, like for the 2023 year.
No, you're talking 2025. Yeah. Like 2025. Right. Okay. Now if you get Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman in this class with Bryce Kane running the slot, that
Walker White.
Yeah. Walker White.
Line that they're going to put together.
Yeah, Fat Burnett in the backfield.
Yeah.
Playoff potential. Yes. Kobe in 2 years.
Yes. In 2 years.
Guys, Corey wants to know, how are we rating Aldridge and Garrett as recruiters thus far? Cole.
Still a long way to go with both of them as far as this first full recruiting cycle goes. You got half of that left. I think Josh Aldridge was huge with Joe Phillips. Yeah. I saw him with him that day that Joe Phillips came back to camp. So definitely a lot of this had to do with him. I think Jeremy Garrett, let's not discount that he was a big reason why Keldrick Falk flipped.
I was going to say, don't forget about that 2023 guys.
Because when I talked to Keldrick Falk at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, the first thing he said was, I've really started a great relationship with the new guy. And I said, you talking about Jeremy Garrett? He goes, yes. Like he almost didn't even remember his name, just that, hey, he's really made an impression on me really quick. So I think Garrett is going to be a relationships guy. I think he's going to be good with that. And I think some of these guys that you think might be slipping from Auburn, maybe Kamarion Franklin, maybe LJ McCray, I think they'll be in the picture down the road. I have that gut feeling here because I've seen him work with guys, and I think he's got he's good with bonding.
In that vein of LJ McCray, I give credit where credit is due. Steve Wiltfong, national director over at 24/7, had a story about LJ. And in that story, he said, if there's one guy that knows how to recruit, it's Jeremy Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
That came from LJ. So that tells me that he's absolutely an effective recruiter. Does he pull it off and sign the kid? I have no idea. But I think he knows what he's doing.
He's a big reason why Jeremiah Beeman's going to officially visit again, or he's going to officially visit Auburn.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, Seth Rainey, appreciate the $4.99, big dog. We do appreciate it. We do not ask for the tips or the whatever they're called. What are they called?
Something
super chat.
Super chats. Yes, Seth. We appreciate it, man. But we all we ask is that you like and subscribe, dude, for free. But we do appreciate it, man. He wants to know, Seth Rainey wants to know, is it odd, and this is a good question, is it odd for a committed recruit, Perry Thompson, to set a final decision date announcement? First part of that question is, with the way things are this day and age, no.
Hell no.
It's not odd at all. It's like, I'm committed, but I'm going to make my final decision. It's like, well, are you committed or not? Anyways, and if you had to pick a highest rated, so I say no, it's not odd. Seth, unfortunately, in this day and age, it's not odd. I wasn't shocked at all hearing Perry Thompson or anybody else for that matter say that. Hell, Joe Phillips will probably have one down in December at some point. If you had to pick, and I'm saying that because everybody's going to keep recruiting Joe Phillips, everybody's going to keep recruiting all these guys, and then they're going to have a final decision right before signing it. Okay, so if you had to pick a highest rated signee who's not Cam Coleman, this is a good question. Who would it be? Highest rated signee not named Cam Coleman. So you're looking at Joe Phillips, who's a top 100 guy. You got Jalen Crawford, Walker White's top 100. KJ Bolden's top 40. DeMarcus Riddick is top 40.
Yeah, I'm going with Cam Franklin.
Kamarion Franklin. Gosh, man, I just do not see that happening. Go talk me through it.
I'm not necessarily saying I see it happening, but I don't think Auburn's out of it at all. Okay. I think Auburn's in it.
I would have liked to have talked to him.
I'll say this. People, in this day and age with NIL, I just don't rule certain schools out of it. And I think
you know what? You're damn right. Yeah, exactly right.
That's where my mind is on some of these guys. Yes, you may look at it right now and go, Auburn's not looking great here. Mm-hmm. That could change in a minute, guys.
5 years ago, I'm in the 2018 mind.
Yeah.
The mentality.
At the end of the day, I mean, look,
KJ Bolden's top 10, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Relationships are one idea. I think Georgia's going to pay up on that one, Jay Lee.
I don't know. He's not coming here.
Yeah.
God.
You were saying I'm sorry, Jhead, I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
I'm looking at just Jordan Ross is in there. No way he's coming.
I'll tell you what.
Perry Thompson, I guess, would be number 32.
You're talking about these guys that are highly rated. I'm looking at the offensive line class, and there's a lot of good suitors, as we have seen over the weekend. Who's kind of the top guy? I'm still leaning toward Daniel Calhoun. I don't know what the chances are, but that's a guy you would go, if Auburn landed that guy, you're in business.
Let's see. Who am I going to
Well, I tell you what, they are in on a bunch of these top 100 guys. Mm-hmm. Caleb Odom, 65. Javonte Waller at 61. I'm looking at the second half of the 50s. Jeremiah Beeman at 69, not happening. Saquon Patterson, there you are, big dog.
Yeah. That's my guy. That's who I'm going with, is Saquon Patterson.
Hey, Jalen Hayward, let's don't forget about this kid. Rockledge, Zach's still on this guy.
Yeah, I saw he was at UCF over the weekend. Interesting.
And he'll be back for an official visit.
Who?
Jalen Hayward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From Ladarius Tennison's neck of the woods. Remember, I had a bunch of stories on him back in the spring. He's legitimately interested. It's kind of come quiet. I need to check in with him. There's Kevin Riley at 81.
Oh, yeah. Kevin
and LJ McCray at 89. And well, somehow Walker White is not in there. I thought he was at 98 or something.
He was at 98. He may have dropped right out of 100, but he's right.
Yeah, Rivals dropped him, and so it dropped a little bit.
Thanks, dude. Romulus, appreciate you, Romulus. $5, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, like and subscribe is all we ask. Is Khalil House a statement win of the class? No.
He's a core guy. You got to get core guys in this class, and then you can layer with superstars because you got to have them. But you also got to have your core players too that are just going to bring that lunch pail, baby. You know what I mean? And put their nose to the ground, and then 3-4 years, what you got?
Yeah, that's a good question, though, Romulus says, because that's how we're really looking at these commitments. I like that. That's a core guy.
Yep.
I think the Wolf or somebody here. I mean, this is a guy from Georgia. You gotta get some of those South Georgia studs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially at school.
Buddy Colt, percentage for Wyatt Simmons, the linebacker from Arkansas, who just popped out of nowhere, and everybody in the country didn't want him 2 months ago. Now everybody in the country wants him, and he has visited Auburn. He has visited Clemson. I have him at 55%, And that's kind of going off of Cole's information. Cole, you know a lot more about this kid than I do.
I have a pick in for Auburn for 60%.
Okay, there you go. Cole likes it. Cole likes the confidence. Cole? Would you feel better about him if he would hurry up and do it, or do you think the longer he waits, the less confident you are?
I think the quicker the better for Auburn.
Okay, I think so too. Just in general.
Now he's already taken his official visits, the ones he wanted to take, and the quote, and I read this quote in his story the other day because I remembered it. You know how you hear it sometimes. You're like, what did he say? He said something that was interesting.
Yeah.
I went back to it and he said it would be nice to get it over with.
Yeah.
So I thought that was important.
Did he do Arkansas this weekend, or was it next? Is he next weekend?
It may be next weekend.
I think him
you're
and Barber are supposed to be on campus at the same time. I think
that's right. That's right.
We shouldn't forget about them. You talking about a 3-star? That these college coaches freaking love this kid.
Yeah.
They love this kid. Wyatt Simmons from Harding Academy in Harding, Arkansas. Ed James wants to know, Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson similar builds physically. How are their games different? And who would you say Perry and Cam's game reminds you of? You guys are a lot better equipped to answer this question than I, so I will defer to you.
Cam Coleman is T. Higgins to me. If everything comes together for him, I see a lot of T. Higgins in his game.
Yep.
I think Perry is a lot more like Seth.
Yeah, I'm thinking Seth.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A bigger guy, can make plays in phase, jump ball type guy. He's got legit deep speed, but I think he's a little bit more. I don't think he's as nuanced as Cam at the same stage as a route runner. I think he's got a little bit more rawness to his game.
My mind went to Seth Williams and Duke Williams, but I think he's a little bit more athletic. I think he's a little faster than those guys.
I think he's 100% faster than Duke for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what Seth's top end speed. What did he clock?
I think it was a 4.5, mid 4.5.
I would guess 4.5.
I would think Perry's 4.5, maybe getting into the 4.4 range.
I think he's under 4.5.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but he just looks like he's faster to me.
Sure.
A little bit more of a fluid strider as a runner.
He looks like an athlete. Like he's
got the look.
He's a hell of an athlete.
He's got the look.
Oh, Eric May wants to know, how many silent commits do y'all think we have that the coaches are waiting to go public? As far as I know, 1.
I'd go 2.
I think 2.
Yeah.
2
oh, yeah. My bad.
Yeah,
2 to 3.
2 for me. 2's all I'm aware of or been told. Oh, Stephen wants to know, if Auburn's going to have a top 10 rated recruiting class, who are the teams they can knock out?
I pulled up the top 10. That's the only reason I jumped up here. I have the current top 10.
Jonte Waller's a Penn State get. You can book it. Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen said he's stuffing you in a locker, big dog.
Bring it on. I see you in the junior high wing.
Somebody take a screenshot of this because when Waller.
Go right ahead, Stephen Keel. I will see you in the junior high wing, 3 o'clock on commitment.
Fight.
Wear him out, Jhead. Wear him out.
So I don't think anyone thinks we're knocking out anyone in the top 5 currently, right?
No.
In the so 6 through 10 is Clemson, Notre Dame, South Carolina, Oregon, and USC.
Oregon and South Carolina. Well, no, not Oregon. Oregon's got enough money to pay up to keep themselves in there. I think South Carolina could slide because I've been watching the trend on them. They've got a lot of great kids early, but the late action has not been great there for Beamer. I think they could slide.
Great question.
I think Florida might slide a little bit. They're on a high right now, but
depending on how
Billy's
Billy's season goes. Yeah.
They're 3.
Yeah, because they landed 4 top 250 on 3 prospects this weekend.
So you got Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, or is it Georgia?
No, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Florida, Bama at 4, and Michigan at 5.
I think Michigan could slide. I honestly do. Harbaugh's not a fantastic closer, and realistically, I mean, he's a good recruiter, don't get me wrong, but his classes at Michigan have not been top 10. I think he's hovered in the 10 to 20 range. And I don't know what their per star rating is either. If they're
It's 90.01. That they have the most commitments in the country. They got 21 commitments right now.
Right. So I think Michigan could slide backwards because they're right at a 4-star.
I think Notre Dame could slide too.
Yeah, depending on how Freeman does this year, I think they absolutely could slide. Yep. And then you've got the academic hurdles of getting into Notre Dame that also affect their recruiting base to a degree some as well.
I'm looking at the 4-star to 3-star ratio too, and Notre Dame's got 9 3-stars, I believe, 8.
Yeah.
So that that could be a big deal.
Yeah, some of those guys will take a jump.
The other big thing is Auburn right now sits at 15 and ahead of us. So just outside the top 10, you got LSU, Penn State, Florida State, and Tennessee.
I think all those are going to make moves.
I think Florida State's going to make a move.
For sure.
Up, not down.
It's going to be tough to get in that top 10.
Yeah, it is.
I think Auburn's looking 10 to 12 this year.
Yep.
I think if they get top 10, they are number 10.
Damn.
And it'll be a good it'll be a good 10 for us. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's a lot of competition this year, and recruiting is spread out.
Look at it this way: top 3 transfer portal class and a top 10 to 12 class in high school. That's a good start.
That's where you need to be.
That's a good start.
Yeah, I agree. Now, will we take the quantity to be top 10 this year? I mean, I don't think anybody's going to do what Dion just did this past year.
No.
70 dudes out of the portal. But I do think you have to take a sizable number from the portal, unless you just hit 4 stars out the. You know what I mean? Unless you hit 4 stars down the board. If everybody you're taking out of the portal.
Right. I'm thinking just a little over 20, somewhere between 20 and 25 is your total in this class, and that's just a guess. As far as how many you take.
Oh, sorry. I was reading
20 to 25 people, period.
I was reading Cole's post on the We Are Live and Johnny Knox.
Yeah, I saw it.
Bro, come on now.
I saw it.
And Eli said Eli out of line. It was a bad night for himself last night.
It's all right. We all have them.
He must have been drinking the Bud Light.
Oh.
Damn, I crack myself up sometimes.
Bro. Let's not get down that line.
Yeah, that was
Because if you're thinking about who you're the people that drink your beer, come on, man.
Eli, you're still one of my faves, big dog. That's why I feel like I can call you out when you need to be called out. Hey, fantastic night. We knew it was going to be a fantastic night of calls. Well, I mean, it was a fantastic night of calls. Not just a bunch of BS questions and people crying. And so we had the Wolf get us started big time. The Wolf. We had Jhead. We had Fredericks. We had Tiger Mike calling in. Kid Country.
Mm-hmm.
Man, both of those guys were fantastic. Anthony was fantastic. Carter Malden with old Bama Bride up there. She let him call in tonight. We appreciate Bama Bride for letting Carter call in. War Dan, how about you, big dog?
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
War Dan, fantastic poster. Kevin always wanting to know what's going on and keeping us on our toes with DeMarcus Riddick and Perry Thompson. Who else? Auburn Dad for Life, fantastic. MA1 for Auburn. Fantastic night of questions. We appreciate everybody. We will be back, Thursday afternoon. We'll try to catch up on everything, maybe have some updates on some of these guys going to have decisions soon. Again, if you're in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, Alabama, and looking for a home, needs to sell your home, give her a call. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads and single moms for that matter.
There you go.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks everybody. We appreciate it, man. We love it. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For Cole, for Jhead, for Zach in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Stay out of the left lane.